Welcome back. So today, a lot less grim. Fear still there, but we had an overall pretty good recovery day. Right now, as I'm recording this, Bitcoin is hovering right around $83,000. So again, much better than last night or the day before. But we're not out of the FUD zone yet. So what happened today? Well, I think we were saved, honestly, by two things. Because after the market bell opened, I noticed, the usual sell-off happened. We saw Bitcoin start, it like popped a little bit and then it started going down and down and down and down. And then all of a sudden we had a reversal. Okay. And it was due to this new bill that's being proposed in front of Congress, and that is the actual Bitcoin reserve bill that we've been waiting for. So this congressman out of Alaska, he started this bill to basically have the U.S. buy 1 million Bitcoin in the next 5 years. Right? This was the plan all along. Right? Ever since July of last year. This was supposed to be the original plan. So after the congressman proposed it, Senator Loomis also, she of course supports it because actually it was her idea. She was the one that came out this last year. And then supposedly there's 6 other people that are in agreement, right? So this came out today, and this, of course, brought a lot of enthusiasm back again. And this is what's needed. If we are truly going to get a reserve where the United States is going to be buying 200,000 Bitcoin over the next 5 years to 1 million, you need congressional support. Okay. So whatever Trump did, whatever he announced last week, was kind of just the starting point. I guess it's what he could do without congressional support, which is to take the seized Bitcoin, make it a reserve, and that was pretty much it. But this is like the next step, right? But it's kind of weird that this wasn't proposed last week, right? Why not do both at the same time? It would have been a much bigger announcement if it was done last week. So it's kind of weird. This is being done now. Of course, I'm hearing that Trump also supports it, but this is not what he said at all. It's almost like two different proposals, because what Trump said in his proposal was to see if there's ways to acquire in Bitcoin without costing taxpayer money. And Lutnick and others, they were going to try to figure out ways to do so, right? But this is different. This is actually buying Bitcoin with dollars. And again, why this wasn't proposed last week, or why it wasn't mentioned last week, just really weird. Like, why wasn't it said before? So, but anyways, this is a step in the right direction. This is what we want. This should have been done a while ago. This proposal should have been created a while ago, but at least we have that. So anyways, that in the middle of the day, when that came out, that kind of turned things around, right? I saw Bitcoin was about to slide under, I think it did slide under 80. I think it went to like 79, and it looked like it was going to keep going. And then after this came out, it kind of brought us up again, and now we're up a little bit further, and we're at 83,000. So this is good. The broader market today, as you guys notice, still was very bad. NASDAQ recovered a little bit because Wall Street decided that they probably panic sold too much yesterday. But something else that helped the situation today is all the stuff that's coming out now about tariffs. So obviously we got a lot of tension between Canada and US, right, due to all the tariff situation. And Ontario's boss. I don't know what you call it. It's not governor, but whoever's the lead of Ontario. Someone Ford. I forgot what his first name is, but you know, he's been like really trying to strike back, right? So he's saying that he's gonna start tariffing electricity into the U.S. Supposedly we buy a lot of electricity for them from Canada, so he was going to tariff the electricity going to the U.S. by 25%, and that pissed off Trump. And Trump declared that starting tomorrow, there will be another 25% tariff on aluminum and steel from Canada, making it 50%. And Trump threatened that, hey, there could be more coming if they're going to continue to do this. And Ontario's Ford also threatened to the point where he's like, if Trump continues to do this, he will just cut off electricity altogether to many parts of the many states within the U.S. So it got really ugly. But then later in the day, there's talks about how those tariffs on or the additional tariff on Canadian aluminum steel is not going to be in place tomorrow. Supposedly the two sides talked. Lutnick talked with Ford, and supposedly they're come up with some kind of arrangement or something like that, right? So things seem like they de-escalated a little bit. Otherwise, if we really do have this retaliation from both sides and we're really into a tariff war, it's not going to help. It's really not going to help, and markets are going to be more worried and probably sell off more, right? So it seems like both sides have come to the table and they're working something out. So supposedly the tariffs are not going to happen from both sides. The 25% tariffs on electricity coming into the U.S. and 25% additional tariffs is not going to happen tomorrow, right? We'll see. That's the latest update. So these two things I think really helped the market today. And overall, as long as we can build off of here, right, we're good. Obviously, a lot of you guys have been watching my videos for the last few days. You know that how I turn really bearish short term. And I think that we could go down lower if we don't get any kind of catalyst to kind of bring everything back up. Unless we're just so oversold we bounce, right? So today we kind of got a little catalyst, that Bitcoin reserve proposal, but again, are we going to get Congress to actually approve it? That's a bigger question mark, right? Just because this is being created and proposed in front of Congress, does it actually mean it's going to happen? We don't know. And it could be the reason why Trump didn't propose it last week, because he knows how hard it's going to be to get this passed. I don't really know, right? But at least we got something. We got a little bit. This is why I've been telling you guys, even though it may seem dark and depressing at times, you never want to give up, because you just don't know what may come. Something spectacular could come and lift the markets up. And I talked about the Ukraine and Russian war, how that may come to a conclusion. I saw an update about that too. Zelensky supposedly said that he will agree to the terms that the U.S. came out for ceasefire as long as Russia agrees. So that's great. If the war actually comes to an end, I think that's going to bring more certainty to the markets, and that's going to be good overall, right? So let's see what happens tonight. Last night, Asia and Europe did not sell off, so that's good. Pretty soon, Asian markets will open up, and we'll see if they decide to join Wall Street and decide to buy back a little bit because of the oversold levels. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight. If we could stay at these levels and build off of it and get back to the mid 80s and high 80s and 90s, that would be awesome. But tomorrow in the US, we have another big inflation report. A lot of eyes on the inflation report tomorrow, CPI. Supposedly, CPI is going to be at 2.9%. Core inflation is going to be at 3.2%. These are estimates, not great, but not terrible. But if we get any indication that inflation is ticking upwards, so if overall headline inflation comes in at 3 or 3.1% rather than 2.9, that's not going to be good for markets. Same thing with core inflation. So tomorrow we will have a big inflation report that's coming up right at market bell or before market bell, and that will really dictate, I think, what the market's direction will be tomorrow. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But anyways, that's pretty much it. I mean, overall today, it was a sell-off day. We had a little bit of a tech recovery, which is good. MicroStrategy came up and others came up a little bit due to how oversold they were yesterday. So that's fantastic. But I don't think we're out of the woods yet. Okay. We had a little catalyst that kind of brought us up, and we had a little bit of recovery, right? But we have seen this before with markets, where we have this like, you know, kind of like a dead cat bounce or just like a little recovery due to oversold levels, and then we continue downwards again. So really hoping that tomorrow's inflation number is going to be good or in line with expectation. Hopefully we get more news around Bitcoin and Bitcoin adoption. And of course, this morning I covered a lot of things, a lot of great things, right? Bitcoin is certainly not going away. Fundamentals are getting better and better. And that's why we should never give up. We should never give up and continue to hold on and see what happens, right? So that's really it. So, all right, guys. Hopefully you guys are staying strong. And I know a lot of you guys know that, you know, it sucks short term, but long term, we're still in a very good position and things are going to get better later this year. So I'm really glad to see a lot of you guys are really holding strong. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. It is freezing outside today, not like yesterday. So I'm going to get out of here. All right, guys. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Bye-bye.